Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mr. Neptune, and welcome back to another video. Today, we will be reacting to Mom launches a campaign to treat a son's tumor, born different. So, without any further ado, let's get right into the video.
He's normal, just like any other little boy. Sorry. I know the last time I took him to a park, there were some kids that told him he looked like a monster. And he hasn't been back to that park ever since. So I had to tell him that I had to tell him that he's not a monster. He's just been through a lot. He goes through a lot.
So, from the first reaction, obviously you can see this kid of like 9, 10 years old is like his tumor. They basically took over his whole face. So I think it's different for me or you to understand what he's going through because I think he can barely see, and with his mother being a single mother struggling with his medical condition that's so severe, it's difficult to be a parent and try to encourage your child to still be who they are with this physical, I wouldn't say deficiency, but I would say problem that they would have through their whole life, even if you can fix it. But we'll just have to see what happens next.
Hey, Amari. Hey, doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for some lunch?
Yeah.
I actually knew when I was pregnant with him that it was like a 50-50 chance that he would come out with his genetic condition. Come on, little bud. Amari has a condition called NF type 1, which is incurable, and which causes tumors throughout his skeletal and nervous system. So it just causes a lot of problems throughout his body, which the growths can come up anywhere on his body. Amari has one of the worst cases that you can get. So he was taking chemo medicine for a while and it seemed to help a little bit, but he's not been on it for a year or so just to see how the tumors act. Put it on there. So this year we probably have to start him back on some kind of chemo medicine because it looks like they're starting to grow back or grow a little more and faster.
So from what we can see is basically this condition that he has, it affects him to the point of where it affects him physically, and it's been this way since he was born. So when you look at it logically, the disease basically eating away at his, I would say, at his face, but actually it's growing more. From what she said, it's growing more, but like they can't cure it. So what is the cure? Because I think that obviously if they can't cure it at this stage at his life at 10 years old, what's next? And what's gonna be next for him if there's no like procedure in the future that can at least give him his facial structure back and give most of his face back to him, even if his face is still there. He can still see through his eyes. So I think it is good that he at least can see. But in all honesty, does he still have hope to still have his face, or will he need to start breathing through his neck and be bedridden? Basically, that's the question I'm asking at this point.
It's a lot, it really is. As he got older, it got more noticeable because the tumors grew. I'm trying not to get emotional. It was hard, it was very hard when I found out. Okay, it'll be done in just a minute. Morris, he's like any other young boy his age. He has limitations of things that he can and can't do. His vision is very, very limited. He only can see out the right eye, which is barely, which is kind of covered up his right eye as well because of the tumors. So it makes it hard for him to do certain things. Like he loves football, but he really can't get out there and play like everybody else because of his tumors. But he really doesn't act like he have a genetic condition or anything. because I look at him as a normal child. 2017, Amari got to meet the Harlem Globetrotters in Huntsville, Alabama, and he got a autographed jersey and a basketball as well. But he had a great time that day. He really did. He smiled the whole way there and all the way home. I was overjoyed because he still talks about it to this day.
I think I wouldn't say it's sad, but I would say it's difficult for a mother to watch this son who is able-bodied, but has this physical deficiency, to not do what they love. I think as a mother and as a parent, I think it's very difficult to see your child not being able to do the things other children can do, and because of the way they were born, especially with this extreme, very very extreme case, it's very difficult for her to understand, or for her to even try to give her child a normal childhood, when in actual fact it's difficult for any parent, but in her case it's like it's one in a million basically. And I think that if she's at least trying to give him what other children has, and I think it's important to understand that, or looking at it basically through his short time or his short life basically.
I have to pull the table up, okay? So you can eat. We're getting ready for EJ and Lewis, Amari's cousin, to come over. When they come over, we're gonna probably go to the park somewhere and let them just have some fun together and spend some time together at the park. Hey, babies. Hey, my loves. Look at that. Now pray that something can be done. It's hard. It really is. You know what jacket you gonna wear? Amari, he mostly plays with his two cousins, so he really doesn't really get out a whole lot.
We just like to have fun with our family and our cousin Amari. I know he has a genetic condition. I like hanging out with just the same. I like hanging out just the way he is. I doesn't seem any different.
I know the last time I took him to a park, there were some kids that told him he looked like a monster, so. And he hasn't been back to that park ever since. So I had to tell him that sorry. I had to tell him that he's not a monster. Main focus is Amari and giving him a better quality of life, because I don't want to.
So from what I'm seeing here, basically what she's trying to do is at least allowing him to have a childhood, even though the physical condition is still making him suffer through all of this. And I think it's actually the case of that, even with his cousins being there, they're at least trying to give him a normal childhood. And I think it is important to understand that, at least if they're at least trying, it's something, it's better than nothing. Because I think obviously with this condition, if it affects him to the point of where he can't eat or he can't see, I mean, then you're actually going to become bedridden at that point. And I think it's sad to see somebody at such a young age suffer through such a condition. At least if they were 20 something or 30 something and the condition started, they at least lived a life where they had most of the senses, or most of the basic senses they need to exist. But now, as he's losing his eyesight, he can barely eat and he can barely breathe. It's like, until what point will all these tumors eventually kill him in the long run, basically?
I have to focus on trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this and that paid. I made this GoFundMe in order to just help provide, because we have a lot of doctor's appointments that we have to go back and forth to. He inspired me in so many ways. He enthusiastic about everything. He doesn't let anything get him down, really. I just only can hope that they find something that can really, really help him tremendously down the line. That can maybe even take all the tumors away. That would be a blessing right there.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, it's a sad story about a young person that has to live through all of this and not understand what the condition is, but just have to go through the hospital because of some all these tumors on his face, which is basically taking away everything that he needs to survive from a biological perspective. What I see is to be more appreciative of what you have as a human being and understand that if you don't have a lot, at least you have your body, you have a health, you have all of these things that can help you through your life, through the long run. And I think it is important to look at this one specific case and understand that even if you are able bodied, your health still counts for a lot of things. And I do think that in this video, it shows us not to be guilty or feel guilty, but to understand that it's not always as black and white as life makes it out. It's not always be born and die. You understand what I'm saying? Or anything in that sense. It's more of understand that there's certain things that you can't buy, you are lucky to have, and you are also able to enjoy without paying for it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on the case. And until next time, I'm out.